I know, like, I'm like a few minutes late, but stop. Um, so yeah, what's up? Hold up. I don't know why, but yeah. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Um, I just uploaded a video. How long ago? Um, an hour ago, I think. I think so. Hold up. No, 2 hours ago. So I will have it in the pinned comment of this VOD. So yeah. So I said yeah. I said sometime. Uh, Not this, but somewhere in this week's streams that I done. That next week I'll be doing a Twitch stream. So I will be doing that sometime next week. Possibly on Wednesday. Then I would say um September the 2nd, I'll be going back to YouTube streaming. If not, I'll be doing Facebook streaming. Then after that, I'll be doing some other platform streaming. So yeah, I'm just gonna stall, just like Ray, just cause I didn't get a message back from my brother saying yes you can, but sometime around like 6, I'm gonna feed the fish, and then yeah. God damn, hold on. Hold up. How do I? Okay. Yeah, I hate it. So yeah, we're gonna be um just chilling, watching some actually can I have more than one tab open? That's my question. Let me have that here. Then, oh, okay, so let me hide that. Can I have like more than one tab open? Let's see. Oh no. Frick. Frick me. Can't. That sucks.
Make a sound as you
Bruh. There. Alright, hold on.
make a sound.
We're back. Huh? Yeah. Check the chat. Yeah, it's fine.
As she walked. That was the perfect chance to uncover the truth. So get this, every 1.07 seconds, a new user goes to Wix.com and starts creating their... So I had to follow her. I got back in the closet and threw on my all-black clothes and hat, grabbed the camera, and headed out slowly behind her, tiptoeing so I would not wake my parents.
Tiptoeing my Jordan.
She was already 5 minutes ahead of me, so I had to catch up. As I went out, I saw that she didn't take her car, so I assumed she walked. So I decided to walk as well. I hurriedly walked past my house, and two more, checking around to make sure no one was looking. After that, I could see her in the distance. She was wearing her heels, so she wasn't walking that fast. I quickly took out my camera and snapped a picture of her on the street. I made sure to keep enough distance so she wouldn't suspect that anyone was following her. After walking a while, I saw her meeting up with a guy in the alley of a nearby nightclub. There was a street light lit, so I could clearly see who the guy was. I didn't know him properly, but I knew that he didn't have a good reputation around our neighborhood. As soon as she reached near him, she went on and hugged him. "Got you," I whispered to myself. I took up my camera as fast as I could and snapped another picture. Then she kissed him. Snap, another picture. I had enough proof to ruin her life, but I wanted to see what they would do next. So I stayed and watched. They went around and came up to the entrance of the club. I had to take one more picture, so I did. Then they went inside the club. I followed on after they got in, but the goon at the door stopped me and told me that I couldn't go in. They thought I was paparazzi. He explained that there was a celebrity in there that night, so no cameras were allowed in. Dang it. I didn't want to leave the camera out, so I thought I should just go home. So I did, since I had already collected enough proof anyway. The next day, I went to the photographers to get the photos developed. The photographer was a middle-aged man that gave me the creeps. But I had to get the pictures. I was watching as he was developing the photos, and the pictures were coming up nicely. Suddenly, he looked at me and asked, "Stalking someone, are we?" I got a little pissed at how nosy he was, but I held my composure and replied, "No, that's my sister. I had her consent. It's just for a project." After all the photos came out, I asked that he put them in an envelope. He did, and handed them over to me, and I handed him the money. I got out of the shop and went on straight to mail the pictures to my house. After that, I went home. The next morning, I woke up concerned. I was concerned if the mail had reached the house or not. I got up, got dressed, and went downstairs. Mom was preparing breakfast, and Dad was in the living room going through the mail. As I was walking down, I saw Dad holding up something I recognized. It was the same envelope that I had sent with all the pictures. When he opened the envelope and took out the pictures, I felt like I succeeded. I wanted to smile, but I knew that if I did, my dad would instantly know that I had something to do with it. As he was looking at the pictures, I could see anger and disappointment in his face. He shouted at the top of his lungs, "Amy, come down this instant!" I heard Amy opening her door and coming down. She looked annoyed. "What?" she said. My dad didn't say a word. He just threw the pictures on the table in front of her. She looked at the pictures, and suddenly I could see her face clouded with embarrassment. She didn't utter a single word. "You're grounded. No hanging out with friends, no phone, and no car for 3 months," my dad said. She started to cry, turned back, and ran up to her room. She closed her door so hard that it made a loud bang.
I'm gonna eat some.
Meanwhile, I just sat on the sofa with a cheesy smile, relieved that no one questioned where the pictures came from. Amy didn't come out of her room all that day. Mom had to take food to her room. I felt a little bad for her, but then again, she brought it all up herself. The next day, Mom and Dad left for some work early in the morning. After they left, Amy came to my room and begged to let her use my phone. I was feeling bad for her, so I gave it to her. She went outside my room dialing someone's number. I wanted to know whom she was talking to, so I went to the door and put my ear on it. All I heard was her saying, "Meet me at the park at 1. Then she hung up. I quickly returned to my bed as I was laying before. She came in and gave me my phone back and thanked me. At around 12:30, she sneaked out of the house. I already knew where she was going, so I didn't rush behind her. A while later, I dressed in my all greens, put on my hat, and wore my camera and binoculars around my neck and headed out. I took my car this time. I drove to the park and parked my car. I went inside the park and saw Amy seated on a bench waiting for someone. I looked around for a spot and spy on her. Instantly, I found a perfect bush. I went into the bush and started using colors to view the bench she was seated on. I saw that the same guy from last time showed up to meet her. I wanted to take a picture of that, so I was switching to my camera and binoculars. I felt something crawling on my neck. It was a bug. I got startled and started moving to get it off me. My movement caught the attention of a bystander who saw me with my clothes, binoculars, and camera in the bush. He came towards me and started yelling, "Hey, what are you doing?" That caught many people's attention. I got scared, so I ran as fast as I could, avoiding everyone. I got in my car and drove back to my house and ran.
Hold on, let me get some more. But I need to. Excuse me. What time is it? Okay. I don't know why, but I hate. Excuse me.
Ran to my room and quickly changed my clothes. While changing, I heard Mom and Dad pull into the driveway. After changing, I went down to sit with my parents to make it seem that everything was normal. Then, Amy came rushing inside the house, busting the door wide open. "Dad, someone's stalking me," she said without even taking a breath. It seemed like she came home running. She was breaking a sweat and looked very scared. I felt bad for her, even regretted my actions, but I tried my best to act clueless. She explained to Dad how she sneaked out to go to the park and some stranger told her that someone was spying on her and ran away when he called him out. My dad silently listened. When she was done, my dad started talking. He explained how after he received those photos of her the first time, he was determined to know the source of those photos. He found out that the envelope had all the information about the shop it was developed in. I got chills in my bones as he was explaining. I was such a fool that I didn't check for information, and more of a fool thinking my dad wouldn't figure out. Now, I was the one who was breaking sweats. My dad turned to me and said, "Jacob, will you explain?" I got so nervous that I couldn't say anything. For a moment, I wanted to get out of the house and just run away. I regret every decision I had made. "Jacob!" my dad yelled. I hesitated, but I had to tell the truth. I spoke with my head downwards in a low tone. "It was me, Amy. The stalker. I'm sorry." Amy looked at me in surprise. Her eyes were red and puffy because of crying. I could tell that she was disappointed. She approached me, looked me in the eyes, kicked me in the nuts, turned around and ran to her room. I laid there on the floor without being able to say anything. My mom and dad also left the room without saying a word, and I was left embarrassed once again. Thanks for watching. Have you ever snooped on someone acting suspicious? And don't forget to subscribe and check out other videos on the channel.
Building your business online takes effort, and when it's ready for the world to see, that's where Google Ads helps. Say you're an online fashion brand. With this,
Hi, my name is Emery, and I am 25 years old. I am here to tell you the story of how I lost my brother because of my mom, and how deeply this impacted me. I could never bring myself to forgive my mom for what she did. That's why I decided to avenge my brother's death. No, don't worry, I didn't harm her in any way, not physically, at least. Dang, what am I even saying? Let me get to the details of my story so that I don't confuse you. My mom and dad separated a long time ago. For the next few years, Mom raised me and my brother Nathan all on her own. She also worked full-time while doing that. Eventually, she remarried. We got a stepdad as well as a stepsister. Now, here's the thing. I was totally expecting that my stepdad and stepsister would treat me and Nathan in not a very good way. You know how they do that in movies and stuff most of the time, so yeah, I was paranoid. But wow, my life is one freaking irony. It wasn't my stepdad, but my own biological mom who turned out to be evil. She didn't do anything to me. I was a model child, always scored good grades, obeyed my teachers, and was on the right path. Nathan, on the other hand, he was not exactly an achiever, but hey, that wasn't his fault. He was a bit weak from birth. And I mean weak as in physically weak. It was an illness, and there was no cure to it. He frequently became sick, caught the flu, lost his appetite, etc. His immune system was a bit weak too. This was the reason that he always needed special care, and my mom hated him because of this. I don't know what went wrong. She was good to Nathan for a few years after Dad left, but slowly, as time passed, she started getting fed up with him. She said that he was a liability, and she won't get anything in return for looking after him. I really didn't understand. How could she say such mean things? I didn't let Nathan feel the brunt of all this, though. I was always there by his side to support him when he needed it. Mom just started completely neglecting him at some point. And then she had remarried. It really stung to see that she loved her stepdaughter more than she loved her biological children. I know she never did anything to me, and I shouldn't be bitter about it, but I couldn't bear to watch Nathan getting hurt because of Mom. But I couldn't do anything either, except for being there for Nathan. Anyway, amidst everything, time passed and I graduated college. But this wasn't the only big thing that happened. Two more important life-changing events took place. My mom had climbed up the ladders and was CEO of her very own company now, but this proved to be fatal for her personal relationships. Apparently, my stepdad thought that she had become a workaholic and materialistic and didn't have time for us anymore. So he divorced her and, well, went on to live somewhere else. Though my stepsister Ellen stayed with us, I have no idea why. Probably because my mom was ready to bear all her expenses, including college tuition and other stuff. So, as I was saying, Mom was running her own company now. Since it was a major name in the fashion industry, I applied for a job in the company too. Of course, I opted for fair means and went through interviewing to get the position of an intern. Mom wanted me to work at a senior position directly, but I told her that I was going to do it the right way. I would work, get experience, and then she could promote me if she thought that my work was worthy enough. I am so proud of you, Emery, she patted my head. You never disappoint me. That was the first compliment she had given me in years. And I was so excited about it that I spilled everything in front of Nathan, completely forgetting that Mom was a touchy topic for him. When I realized this, my eyes widened and I quickly apologized.
Why?
He gave me a smile, shaking his head. Come on, Emery, I'm not that sensitive. Besides, you deserve that compliment. I am not jealous. Promise. Did I ever mention how much I loved Nathan? Like, he was always there for me, and he never let the negativity in his life affect his behavior. This was the best part about him. However, it killed me whenever I tried seeing things from his perspective.
I think I'm gonna eat some more cause like at 7 cause I'm always checking on how long I've been streaming.
We've been training hella hard, getting that recovery, about to hit the cryo chamber. This nitrogen fills up this chamber to make it negative like 200 something.
That was Americans trying Indian food for the first time. Jessica Alba replied to my comment on YouTube. She came by cigarette. Well, yeet, neat, olive,
I don't wanna go to school. Okay, these bitches that came out of Milano. Guys, look who came to visit. Mama.
Mama's here. Cheers.
All right, dude, listen up. Everyone listen. Sit down. Everyone sit. Hey, guys, sit. All right. But for real, Bosley, the OG. Come on, Bosley. Come on, let's go. He actually listens. Come on, Mommy, let's go. Let's go in the room. Come on. Come on, baby. Oh, what a good boy. Forgot the best part. We got Bosley here, and then we got Bosley there.
Sorry, I was, yeah. So I might, eat some more later, but not now. So I think I'm gonna place it where I can remember it. So yeah.
must have been so hard for him to go through life with his illness and then cope with Mom's attitude too. Why, Mom? Why?
The same frustration with yeah. So
I was at the office one day when I got a call from the hospital. Nathan's condition was severe and he had been admitted there. I immediately rushed to see him. He was in a deep sleep because of the medicine he had been given by the doctors. What happened to him? I asked the doctor. When will he wake up? The doctor cleared his throat. We can't say for sure when he is going to wake up. What? I cried. What the hell? Why? This is normal for him, right? This has happened many times before. Yeah, it has, but this time it's different. You're passing some papers towards me. These are the reports of the tests we conducted. It seems like Nathan needs a surgery. I didn't understand the medical terms written on those reports, and my mind started reeling as soon as I heard surgery. What the heck was happening all of a sudden? He was okay until yesterday. Actually, who was I kidding? I should have coming. Nathan had never been okay, and all of us knew it. We were just pretending that everything was all right and pushing through our daily lives, but now, all that delusion had shattered. Nathan was not okay, and he needed a surgery. It's not a serious surgery, the doctor said, and I guarantee you that Nathan will be completely all right after the surgery. There's nothing to worry about. Really? I asked hopefully. He nodded.
oh, by the way, the link to my recent video be in the description or pinned in the comments. So yeah.
Yeah, the only catch is that it will cost a lot. How much? I will arrange it, I said quickly. I'm talking millions here, he said. It's a long-term thing. It needs a lot of... I will ask my mom. I cut in. She will definitely help. After all,
Definitely not help. Haha.
Cure Nathan forever.
Funny.
I went back to the office and barged inside Mom's office. I saw that my stepsister Ellen was there too, speaking to Mom in hushed whispers. I ignored her and turned to face Mom. Where did you go during work hours without informing anyone? Mom asked sternly. Mom, Nathan is really sick, and the doctors say that he will need a surgery, I informed her. And, Ellen sneered, how does that concern us? I wasn't talking to you, I snapped at her before turning back to Mom. Mom, please, can you arrange some funds for his surgery? The doctor said that it will cost a lot, but Nathan will be completely fine after this surgery. Sorry, Mary, I can't afford to part with even a single penny right now, Mom replied without even blinking. Everything belongs to company funds, and I can't hamper with that. Mom, but he's your son, I protested. How can you be so cold towards him? Do you want him to suffer and die? Ellen scoffed. That would probably be better. Good riddance. I was so furious now that I didn't even stop to think. I just charged towards her with every intention to shut her up forever. Too bad that Mom stopped me. Emery, what's wrong with you? She cried. I told you I won't give money for the surgery. You can get out of my office now, and don't ever bring up this topic with me again. I shook my head, backing away. What's wrong with you, Mom?
So let me tell you some updates, right? But before I continue, all right. All right. New video be out this Sunday. First, I have to actually no, F that. New video out tomorrow on the same day. So I'm gonna edit it, upload it, process it, and then yeah. So tomorrow there'll be a video out. I don't know when, but I think whenever I think like after Crypt uploads his music video, that I will react to that. So yeah, stay tuned for that because Crypt got your back, boy. So I'll be uploading that as a IGTV video on my main account, on my Crypt account. So yeah. to it.
When did money become so important to you that you want your own son to die? She pursed her lips, not saying anything. I knew it was useless to remain there anymore, so I turned around and left. I went to the bank and checked all the records of my savings and emergency deposits. It was a lot, but it was not enough for Nathan's surgery. But I could still get the treatment started. So I used all of my savings and whatever I had earned till date to get Nathan's surgery started. The doctor told me that there would be a series of small surgeries that would cost more money over time. The treatment started, and I could see it for myself. Nathan's condition was getting better. It can take a turn for the worse if we stop midway, the doctor said. So I advise you to arrange the rest of the money soon. I wanted to. I really did, but it was not that easy. After this time, I had tried to talk to Mom many times, but her answer was the same. It wasn't helping. The stinky Ellen was persuading Mom against the treatment too. Why were they doing this?
Okay, also, forgot to tell y'all this. Okay. I heard on Fox 5, okay, shout out to Fox 5, that that in my county, in my state, that schools are going to be returning next week. A big F it. Big F the comments, boys. Big F the comments. Like, bruh. Me. Look, why? Like, why is this day? Like, why is this month? Why is this part of the month going by fast? I hate it. The reason why I hate it because school, in person, is coming back. I don't like. Nah.
Family and relationships mean nothing to them? I went home one day to see a new car parked in our driveway. Whose car is that? I asked no one in particular when I entered the house. I got it today. Isn't it wonderful? Ellen smirked. Mom gave it to me as a gift. A gift for what? I asked as I felt my blood starting to boil. Mom.
I think. Hold on, cause I hate it. So I think for what I want her to do, well, I want Emery to do is have pack of C4s under the car, then have it like detonate the boom. Sorry, I'm into Call of Duty right now. Like I haven't played it, but I know like stuff from it. So yeah. Yeah.
Mom shrugged. I just wanted to. You have the money to spend on cars and other things that are not required right now, but you can't help your own son who's lying sick at the hospital? I asked in disbelief. Oh, God, not again, Ellen groaned. Why do you have to ruin everyone's mood, Emery? Emery? Now I have had enough, Mom spoke up. You keep on bringing up money for Nathan's treatment as if he is my responsibility. He is nothing to me. I will not give money for his treatment. Mom, I started quietly. What would you have done if it was Ellen in Nathan's place? Why the heck do you want me to be sick? Ellen exclaimed. Can you please stop? Of course I would help her, Mom replied. She is really valuable to me. I scoffed. And what if it was me? She didn't reply, and that was answer enough. She wouldn't help me. Well, I didn't expect her to. She had grown distant from me a long time ago. She only viewed me as a prized resource that was useful for her company. That was all she needed from me. Work in return for a fixed salary.
Damn.
Later, Nathan's condition deteriorated, and all I could do was watch helplessly. I could arrange money from any source. No one was willing to shell out such a big amount. And thus, I watched my brother die right in front of my eyes. I don't want to go into the details of what kind of hell I went through after that, but a few days later, my mom stepped inside my room for the first time in many years. "Emery, how are you doing?" she asked. I didn't reply. I wanted to smash a vase somewhere. It was a miracle that I was sitting so calmly. "Emery, there's no use of mourning now. He is gone. You're only wasting your time and energy after someone who will never return," she said. Was she for real? What was she to do? If she wanted to rile me, then she had been successful. Still, I kept my mouth shut, using every last bit of my patience. "Why don't you return to work? You have been promoted and your salary has increased significantly," she continued. I wanted to quit, and I almost said that out loud until an idea struck me suddenly. If I quit now, it would be of no use. It won't affect my mom anyway, and she would continue being the way she was. And I couldn't let that happen. Not after she had let Nathan die. I couldn't let her just go on with her life and forget about it. I needed to do something, and it had to be through the means of work. Because her company was the love of her life, I knew what could hurt her the most. That's why, to carry out my plan, I had to keep my job. I plastered a smile on my face and looked up to meet her eyes. "I will return to work from tomorrow. You were right. I should not dwell on the past. It will get me nowhere." Mom sighed in relief. "Thank God. I was afraid that you would leave work. You are the best employee in my company, and I can't afford to lose you." "Is that so?" I asked with a smile. She patted my head. "Of course. After all those years of education was paying off. I made a great choice by investing in you." I was not even surprised anymore. Of course I was an investment, one that was paying off now. "Oh, Mom, I am so going to get payback. Just you wait and watch." It was time
38
to
minutes,
I was in a
alright.
state of grief.
Just a
I
couple
had to get
more,
to action
and then
now.
I'll
As my
end the
mom
stream.
had said, I was her best employee. I didn't doubt this for a second because I handled all the big clients and made meetings. Most of the deals were brought to the company by me. That was going to change now. Of course, I had to do it in such a way that no one would ever suspect what was happening. I was going to shake the bee from the inside. The best part was that no one was going to question me about anything since I was the CEO's daughter. I started sabotaging the company from within. I wasn't weakening the company, I was just weakening the client's faith in my mom. It was not difficult considering that the news of how she had let her own son die had been spreading like wildfire. How can we trust a woman who let her own son die? I know money is important, but letting her son die when she could have saved him, it's a bit too much. She didn't spare her own son. What's to say that she will spare us if something goes amiss? These were just a few of the things that the clients were saying about her. My mom had asked me to do damage control. As if. I participated in ruining her reputation even more. There was distrust even among the company's own employees, and for good reason. I used it to my advantage. Slowly and steadily, I turned all of our clients, investors, and employees against Mom, all while keeping up the appearance of the best employee. One day, Mom called me to her office. Well, Ellen was present there too. "Emery, is everything all right?" Mom asked. I raised an eyebrow. "Since when do you care about that?" "She is asking about her company and not about you," Ellen intervened. I shrugged. "I never said I meant me. And yeah, everything's all right. We successfully got the big deals that we wanted." "Then why do I feel like something is wrong?" Mom sighed. "People have been acting really strange around me lately. They sometimes give me a look of disgust and walk away." "I don't know about that," I said, "and I don't care. My job is to work in the company. Don't bother me with your personal problems." "You sick brat!" Ellen yelled. "Why? How does it feel?" I gave her a ting smile. "We all stopped being a family a long time ago. There's no need to pretend now, especially when it is for your own benefit." Emery, Nathan is out of the way now, Mom cut in. Why do you have to be like this? How could she speak about Nathan like that? How dare she? I clenched my fists to my mouth shut. Sorry, I bit out and left. I talked to the company employees in a secret video conference that night. All of them expressed that they wanted my mom to step down and for me to take over. And thus, a rebellion began. Too much pressure was applied on my mom from all sides. Her own employees and clients were turning their backs on her. Even the media got involved, and Nathan's story was spread through news. My mom was labeled insensitive, cold-hearted, and materialistic. She buckled under the pressure at last. She gave up and resigned. I took over her position by a majority vote and the agreement of the company board. And that was how my mom was kicked out of her own company. Ellen threw a big tantrum. I was tempted to kick both of them out of the house too, but I took pity on them. And, well, my mom didn't even know that I had agitated everyone against her. She thought that someone had tipped the media, and then all of this happened. Well, I didn't care. I cut off her expenses because why not? You can't do that, she gasped. It's my company. I can't afford to part with even a single penny. Sorry. I threw back her own words at her. And it's no longer your company. Get it out of your imagination. She seemed like someone had electrocuted her. I started to feel bad for her, but then I remembered what she had done when Nathan needed her help, when I needed her help. Well, two could play this game. She didn't deserve even an ounce of sympathy. I knew that Ellen and my mom weren't going to just sit quietly, though. They asked me to give them jobs in the company. I declined, of course. It's not possible, I said. None of the employees trust you. You can't come back in any position. And as for Ellen, she still had to complete her studies. Why the heck would I give her a job? I thought they would take a hint and go look for some part-time position or something, but no, they were so stubborn. A few weeks later, I got to know that Mom was planning on starting a competitor company. Wow, I had to give it to her. She really had some guts. Sure. I informed my employees and my clients. None of the investors were keen on dealing with an untrustworthy woman like my mom. So it was safe to say that her company failed even before it could begin. She never got sponsors or financiers to support her. A month or so passed, and I was in my office when I got a call from the hospital. Mom had collapsed and was admitted there. I couldn't believe that. I rushed out of my office to go and check up on her. The doctor told me that my mom was severely sick because of too much stress, mindless activities that she was indulging in. This didn't happen in one day, the doctor said. She weakened herself over the last few months. I think she's been skipping meals and has been under a lot of pressure. The point is, she's really ill now, and if we want to save her, then she needs treatment. What was this deja vu I was experiencing? My mind was taken back to the time when Nathan was in the same state, and I had practically begged my mom to help him. She had refused at once. But I was not my mom. I was not cruel and cold-hearted like her. I didn't even hesitate before telling the doctor to start her treatment. It was as costly as Nathan's treatment was, but I bore all the expenses without saying a word. A few weeks later, she had completely recovered and come back home. I avoided eye contact with her, but she sat in front of me. She started crying, completely taking me by surprise. Hey, you just got back from the hospital. Please go and rest, I said. Sorry, Emery, she sobbed. Now I realize my fault. Please forgive me. I gave a long look. Are you really sorry? She nodded, crying even more. Then apologize to Nathan, I said, looking down at my lap. But how? We were not able to save him, but we can make sure that such a thing doesn't happen in the future. I want to do something for children who are ill and who don't have money for their treatment. And that was how our foundation was born. Mom and I worked together for this foundation. It was built to help all the poor, sick children who couldn't afford treatment. Mom took care of most of the work because I was busy with the office. Somehow she'd even convinced Ellen to work for the foundation. Everything was finally falling into place. Mom had changed a lot. It was like she was redeeming herself, and I couldn't have asked for more. And she dragged Ellen along with her. The company was running smoothly, and I was finally happy. Sure, I still missed Nathan, but I knew that if he was here, he would be happy with all these changes too. Mamma mia! Going up? Say what?
I'm clearly like him. Bueno,
¿Qué está haciendo mi teenager?
en la casa.
¿Casita, hijo?
Yeah.
Ok, papá. ¿Y tu hermano?
Con Fatima.
Oh, ¿y mami?
In the room sleeping.
¿Sleeping mami, hijo?
Yeah.
¿Tired mami, hijo?
Yes.
Ok, papá. ¿Ya comiste, hijo?
Yeah.
¿Qué comió mi teenager? ¿Qué comió mi joven?
I don't know.
I don't know, papá. I don't know, hijo. ¿Qué te queda un chingote, hijo? ¿Eh? ¿Aloncito?
My bad. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on, let me. Right here. Hold on, let me. Here. Yeah. So that's why, like, I'm in my closet. Just for acoustic purposes. So yeah.
Was only to pick up the groceries, but it was still a big deal for me. They never left my side. I was always in the presence of either mom or dad or both. I didn't get why they were so protective of me. They were protective to the extent they never let me leave the house. I was always inside the house looking out the window. I felt like Rapunzel.
Yes, I will feed them in like a couple of minutes. So let me. God damn. Close. So yeah. I think I'm gonna do it right now. Then yeah. Hold on, let me. Yeah. How like what pinch of
Like almost where your finger marks like millimeters. Are they still alive? Just like I don't know. Not too much. That's too. That's good. That's good.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Rapunzel in her tower sometimes. When I looked out the window, I saw kids playing, running towards school buses, and whatnot. When I asked my parents couldn't be like other children, they always had an excuse. They even counter-questioned me. What if you get lost? Or kidnapped? But before we move on, like this video, hit that subscribe button, and activate the notification bell. This will let you live 20 amazing years longer. Trust me, it works. One day, when I was about 7, I saw my dad talking on the phone near the window. I went to him and said in my baby voice, "Dad, I want to go to school." He stopped talking and hung up the phone. He looked at me and I saw his face was going red. Although he didn't say a word, I knew he was getting angry. At that moment, my mom came rushing in and said, "We are homeschooling you. Don't bother your dad. If you have any questions, ask me." I had been scared of my dad ever since to that day, and I was already in my teens. That was why I always did what they said. I behaved, stayed inside the house, and never bothered my dad. I had only been out 2 or 3 times on the grocery run with my mom. That time too, her
First off, that ad. Why? That ad always turns me on, bruh. Like, why?
eyes were fixed at me like a hawk. That was why when they left to go out, it was a relief for me. I could finally be alone. I could get a sense of privacy and freedom, even though it was inside a house. Usually, when I was alone, I liked exploring the house. I thought that was the only way I could figure out why my parents were so protective and why my dad was so angry. I had searched the attic and even my parents' rooms a few times before, but I couldn't find anything. That day, I was facing my fears and going down the basement. It was scary down there, but I hoped I would find some. I turned on the lights of the basement, headed down there. Even with the lights on, this is scary, I said to myself. But I was right. There were so many things there. Some of the things looked way too old. There was this old television, my old crib, and so many papers. I started going through the papers. It looked like some kind of bookkeeping of money, and there were so many names. Are my parents taking money from people, I thought? As I was going through a huge box of papers, I felt something hard in there. It was another rather smaller box. I opened it and saw that it was filled with videotapes. 5 to be exact. I was not very much interested in them until I saw one of them was labeled. It said, "Claire Baker's debt." As soon as I read that, I knew something was in there that I needed to figure out. First, I needed to check if that old TV still worked. I plugged it into a switch and turned it on. Then I popped the videotape in. I was shocked at what I saw. On the television screen, there were my mom and dad. My mom was holding a baby, and my dad was pointing a gun at someone's head. It was a man, and there was another woman. They were both down on their knees. The woman was crying. She was saying, "Please don't take my baby girl from me. I will find some other way to pay you back." My mom started speaking. "You've had your chance, Claire. You should know after all these years in mob business." Then my dad spoke. "We will sell her when she is old enough. Your debt will then be reimbursed. Don't come looking for her or even think about contacting the police. Otherwise, we will kill her and then you." The tape popped out. My whole world crumbled in front of me. I couldn't believe what I saw. My parents were mobs. At that moment, it hit me. They were not even my parents. I was that baby in the video, and they were talking about selling me. I was kidnapped. I was raised by my kidnappers. I heard the sound of my fake parents' car. Oh no, they're back. I hurriedly put all the things back to where they were, but I had to take the videotape, so I put it in my pocket. I ran to the basement door, closed it, and headed upstairs to my room. Right when I was about done walking up the stairs, my fake mom opened the door. She saw me and asked, "What were you doing downstairs?" I was so scared. After all the things I saw, I was horrified of who they were. I wanted to cry, but I didn't want them to suspect anything. In a shaky voice, I replied, "I was in the kitchen to drink some water." "Okay. Don't get out of your room unless we're here for the next time," she said. I rushed to my room and closed the door. I was just catching my breath. I remembered I forgot to turn off the basement lights. They would end me if they found out. I sat on my bed, scared, and I started to think. All those times, I did everything they said because they were my parents, or at least I thought so. I didn't want to hurt or disappoint them, but not anymore. I made up my mind that when night falls and when my fake parents are fast asleep, I will escape. I sat there pacing back and forth. My eyes were fixated at the clock. One after another, hours passed. It was getting darker outside. The kidnapper mom brought dinner to my door, knocked and left. I went out and brought in the food and ate it. I knew I would need energy if I were to escape. I waited till it was almost midnight. I put on my hood and tied my shoes to my bag. I didn't want to put them on until I got out. I didn't want to risk them hearing the footsteps. I slowly opened my door and tiptoed to their room. The front door had a security lock code. My only way was through the back door, and my fake mom had the keys to it. They were both fast asleep. I saw the keys on her bedside table. I tiptoed there, grabbed the keys very gently, making no noise at all. I tiptoed back and slowly closed the door. It was dark, but I didn't hit anything as I walked only around the house all my life. I was a little happy that my escape plan was coming together so well. I was almost out of the house. There was only one door in between my freedom. I inserted the key and tried to open the door, but it wouldn't open. I tried again and again. It was bright all of a sudden. Someone turned the lights on. "Now where do you think you're going?" It was my fake dad. I turned around in horror. He came towards me and grabbed my hands. I started screaming, "Let me go! Let me go!" Then the fake mom entered. "Do you think we're fools? We know you went down to the basement. What did you find? Tell us." "I know you're not my parents. You are bad people," I cried. "That's good. We don't have to keep up the act anymore," she said. The fake dad pushed me up to my room and threw me in. I landed on the floor. Before closing the door, he said in a monstrous tone, "Soon we will use you for the real you. Very soon." I didn't move from that spot. I lied right there and kept on crying and crying. I cried about how unlucky I was and how I could do nothing about it. I fell asleep right there at some point. The next morning, I woke up. It was cold and my eyes were puffy after all the crying. I watched the sun ray enter my room slowly. "I am not going to give up," I whispered to myself. I heard some noises coming from downstairs. I went down to see those kidnappers were setting an alarm system and security lock code on the back door as well. I went to my room and kept myself locked in for the whole day that day. I thought of 100 things I could do to escape, but nothing was good enough. The day I was sitting in my room, I was out of ideas, hungry, and drained of energy. I heard something outside the window. It was the neighbors. They were all outside playing. With all the energy left in me, I started screaming at them. "Help! Help! There's a fire! I'm locked in my room!" One man came running towards our house to help. I knew this was it. I put on my shoes, unlocked my room, and went towards the stairs. The man rang the bell, and the fake mom opened the door. She let him come inside. I knew that was the last chance I would ever get if I wanted to escape. I ran downstairs and out the door in a flash and kept on running and running and running. I stopped when I felt I have come far enough from that house. I didn't know what to do next. I hadn't planned for that. Confused. I was inside a cafe. Someone was waving to me from the inside. It was a boy of my age. He signed me to come in. I didn't know what to do, so I went in. He asked me to sit, and so I did. "You look lost," he said. "Can I eat your donut?" I was so hungry I couldn't even focus on anything else. "Sure, go ahead," he said. He looked kind. After some time, I realized that I had that videotape in my pocket. I took it out and said to him, "Can you find Claire Baker's address for me on your computer?" "Well, you're in luck. I will do it," he said. After a couple of minutes, he showed me the screen of his computer with a couple of pictures. "Which one?" he said. I looked at it and pointed at that lady that looked like the one in the videotape. "It seems she changed her name to Claire James a few years ago. But I have her address," he said. He wrote it on a piece of paper and gave it to me. I thanked him and assured him we'll meet someday in the future. Then I left. I was walking toward the bus station when a man suddenly stopped his car in front of me. He was a stranger. He popped his head out the window. "Do you need a ride to somewhere, sweetheart?" he said. I thought I met another kind person and asked him if he could take me to the bus station. He said he would, so I got into his car. But as soon as I got into his car, he turned it around. He pulled up his phone and said to someone, "I have her." I was terrified. I started screaming and kicking. I kept on kicking and hitting him. He lost his balance, so he stopped the car. I opened the door, got out, and ran for my life. He was following me in the car, and I could hear it behind me. I saw a police car and ran towards it. I knocked on the door, and the policeman came out. The car that was following me speeded off. I told the policeman everything. I was out of my breath. The policeman told me that I was safe. He even gave me a ride to my real parents' house. I reached the house. It was big and beautiful. I rang the doorbell. A lady opened the door, the same one from the videotape. I pulled out the videotape from my pocket and showed it to her. She looked at me and hugged me instantly. "I will never lose you again, baby," she said. Thanks for watching. Do you think your parents are your real parents? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and check out other videos on the channel.
I haven't been streaming because, like, I hate it. Let's see. I'm gonna stall, but I'm gonna end it. So, I know. Weird background because rain. And such. So, yeah. So, I'm gonna see, if I left. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here for today. Yeah, so I think if you've seen like the recent change of time lengths, it's because of school, and plus I want to chill out, possibly play online. But yeah. So yeah. So yeah, let me see you guys in tomorrow's stream. I know I'm gonna stream every day until like my birthday or something. Yeah, no joke. I don't know. Don't take that seriously. But yeah. If you guys enjoyed this stream, hit hit the like button down below. Subscribe. Give me to 100 subscribers by next month. So I'm gonna keep saying it. So yeah, please. If not, my Logan Paul, which actually let me put it up right here. This one right here.
¿Ya le echaste de comer?
Yes.
A los pescaditos. Oh, ¿y no sirve ese? ¿No sirve?
No USB. Like I can't find it.
No tiene. Oh, me lo vi un chile en una casa y aquí lo traigo. Me iba así a morder el señor. ¿Y por qué estás ahí metido? ¿Llegó a los truenos?
So yeah. Hold this count if not to subscribe to here. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this stream. See you guys tomorrow.